Hello, hello, the doc is in, and welcome back. Here we are with another chapter of Tokyo Revengers, chapter 250, Turn the Tables. In the last chapter, we had the Teen Brothers losing to Mitsuya and Hakai. We had a setup for Akun versus Shihoen. We had a setup for Senju versus Sanju. I believe we also had a setup for Wakasa versus Inupi. And that's pretty much it for the last chapter. Let's just hop right into the next chapter. Alright, so we start the chapter off with Takamichi and Kokucho, kind of like an intermediary between their fight. Kokucho's basically like, how many times do I have to slap the crap out of you for you to go to sleep? And Takamichi's basically like, I'm never going down. And, well, actually, I read that wrong. Takamichi doesn't say anything in response to Kokucho, but obviously the thought process probably is, I'm never going down. And then we cut to Akun and what he's saying, and he's basically like, hey, I can't go down because of Takamichi. So he's like, I just gotta put the hands on you, Madarame, you know how it is. And Shihoen, once again, he's like, oh, you're a fodder character. Again, you're the fodder. You have not beat anyone. Actually, no. At the beginning of Tenjuku, he did beat somebody, but that don't matter. Every other time, he just gets one shot and dies. And spoiler alert, it happens again. So Akun gets mad at Madarame because he's using brass knuckles. And he throws in Madarame is Shihoen, Madarame. You get the idea. Shihoen throws a punch at Akun and he swerves that. And then Akun counters and he throws his own punch and he knocks that boy out as he's deserved. And it's honestly, once again, one hit KO and that man's done. Finished. Akun looks cool as hell. And everybody's like, oh snap. We really gonna catch this W. And everybody's cheering, and all the Tomen members, of course, are cheering Tomen. Everybody's hype. And as we see everybody being hype about how Tomen is winning, we get a little reference to the chapter, and we see Inu fighting Wakasa, and Wakasa's looking clean as hell. All right, he dropped his jacket, he just got the T-shirt on, man's looking wavy as hell. And you got Inu looking like he's literally about to get knocked the hell out, like in 2 seconds. I'm guessing this fight's going pretty bad, because at this point, even though Inu is in the middle of a fight, he's decided that he needs to figure out what's going on with the plot here, and he decides to ask Wakasa, why'd you guys switch sides? Shouldn't you should be on our side, remember? Like, come on, you don't have to beat me up, please, I beg. And basically Wakasa's like, he kind of doesn't answer because Inu was like, did something happen? And Wakasa goes silent and he's like, I don't know, ask the guy behind you. And Benkei makes his appearance, so I'm guessing Inu is fighting Benkei and Wakasa at this point. And Benkei shows up and the first thing he does is slap the crap out of Inu, sends him a little bit flying. And Benkei then yells at Wakasa, basically like, why haven't you beat the shit out of this kid yet? And so Inu's looking like, oh my god, I'm so dead. Like if you look at his face, like that's the face of somebody who's like, oh shit, I'm so fucked. It ain't gonna end well. And Benkei's basically like, well, I'm not gonna cap, I'm worse than him, so be ready. You know, we're stomping out Tomen's spirit right now. I'm like, dang. It ain't gonna end well for Inu. And we get a little cut, and as we're transitioning from there, we get a little cut to Coco's face, and he look a little sweaty. You see a little sweat droplet on there. We get a little overview of the entire fight. It's looking pretty mixed. Obviously, there's a lot more gang members in white, the Kanto Manji gang, but we still see most of the Tomen gang is still standing, while a number of the Kanto Manji gang is completely down. And as we're cutting, we see Sanju and Senju. And basically Sanju's basically being like, so you're gonna lose, right? I thought it would be tougher to fight you, but I guess you're just gonna hold this L. And once again, as holding with the same theme of the title, Senju is looking pretty beat to crap. She's bleeding from one of her eyes is closed, got blood running through it, the other side of her face looking not so fun. And basically she's like, hey, let's I'll forfeit the fight. Let's just be friends. Alright? Let's be a family again. Let's not fight each other, you know? And basically, she has this like whole panel where she's crying and she apologizes about what happened with Mikey giving him scars. And Sanju's response is so fucking crazy. Alright, so his response, alright, so you imagine, right, you just had a heartfelt moment. You're like, you think you ruined his entire life and he's become crazy because of something you did, right? You're holding on to this guilt. And you're like, you know what, in these final moments, I'm not gonna fight you because I am sorry with what happened to you. It's all my fault. And the response of the crazy person that you care about is just slap in the head with a pipe. I'm like, damn, that's brain damage and everything. Knocked her ass out. She's finished. She's just done. She's done. And he looks so non-caring. Like, the swing is like so much of like a, oh my god, you're still on about that? Shut up. I'm like, dang. No love. And so Senju basically, in reference, well, we'll get into it. The chapter's almost over anyway. So he basically is like, you don't understand, alright? That's not the full set of my backstory. There's more to the story. And we're probably going to get that in the next chapter. But basically everybody sees this happen. They're like, oh snap, Senju beat Senju. Oh my god. And Takemichi's like, oh snap, I guess I really can't go down at this point because it looks like we're on the back foot now. And so Senju's, she's probably not dead, but for my headcanon of this chapter, her dead body's on the floor, just laid out, finished. And Senju's just like, that day, that was simply just a trigger. All the other events that happened, those are what really mattered. And so that ends the chapter. Really good chapter. I think the whole Senju, I feel like this whole portion kind of gives the fight more, not credence, but more weight. Because previously, for the most part, Toman's just been cleaning up, alright? It's been pretty straightforward with these W's. But with this little turnaround chapter, we're kind of getting like, okay, you know, not everybody's just gonna win their fight, alright? And also, it only, this only makes the Takemichi versus Mikey fight way more interesting because Takemichi hasn't even beaten Kikucho yet. Now, given with Kikucho going down, it's probably gonna just go straight from Takemichi to from Kikucho to Mikey, but it's just to say like, dang, Takemichi has been going head up with Kikucho for a hot minute, and then after this he has to fight Mikey, and no one's beat Mikey yet. All right, no one's beat him yet, and Mikey's clean, no hits, fresh as a whistle. I genuinely, I mean, obviously Takemichi's gonna pull it off, but I'm like, dang, Takemichi's a monster apparently, because he doesn't look, obviously he doesn't look like he's about to go down, but he definitely looks beat up. He looks beat up like Inupi. He looks beat up like Senju. Alright, he's not better for wear than anybody else, so that's that. As for the Wakasa and Benkei situation, once again, Inu didn't get knocked out this chapter like Senju did, but Inu doesn't look like he's gonna win. Because we're saying, he was fighting Wakasa just a second ago, right? And he looked like he was getting there. He was not in better strength. So it didn't look like he was about to win that fight. And then, but it also looked like Wakasa also took some damage, alright? Whatever. And Benkei shows up. He's clean. Alright, he's still wearing his jacket. He don't look like he fought not a single person this entire time. Well, at least anybody notable. And now he's about to fight Inupi. And Inupi's looking scared for his life. He's like, please, I beg. I need help. So I don't know. Well, I mean, obviously some people have already won their fight, so probably they'll hop in, try to help one of these people who are losing. Probably help the situation with Senju. Still haven't seen, what's his name? Hanma, which is interesting. And going from there, we gotta think, okay, Akun, I don't know if he's gonna get another fight at all, really. I think he'll just be fighting Riffraff. If he fights anybody else, I feel like he's gonna lose. At this point, I think he's already gotten his W for the situation here. As I said with Inupi, I think he's gonna lose. Maybe Coco will help, but Coco's not a fighter as far as I know. But maybe we'll see. Now getting into the Senju versus Senju situation, I mean, there's nothing really to be said for the fact that Senju basically got packed up, rolled into a blunt, and now she's getting smoked. It is a sad situation. But that being said, what's the most interesting about the interaction between Senju and Senju is it confirms the theory that there's obviously more to that situation than what Senju knew. She herself had already said that she didn't really know all the particulars of the situation, and especially not the interaction between Senju and Mikey. Senju and Mikey. And now with Senju pretty much directly addressing it like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. You're over here worried about that situation. That was nothing in comparison to what happened after that. What that caused to happen later. So I'm not sure if we're gonna start getting flashback next chapter, but we'll definitely be getting it. I feel like we're definitely gonna be getting it soon, like within the next 3 to 5 chapters, let's say. I feel like we're gonna get into like a bit of a flashback for that situation. I feel like until I think pretty much all the surrounding fights are going to be resolved before Takemichi gets to Mikey. I feel like the author wants to have Mikey versus Takemichi be like not the pinnacle, but like solely focused on, because currently with all the other fights we've kind of like switched between multiple in each fight for good reason, and so and also we get like some sort of resolve for the other ones. So I feel like the Mikey versus Takemichi, I feel like it's going to be like pretty much the sole thing going on, and maybe during that fight we'll have like maybe Hanma interject and kind of, or like maybe Hanma may interject, and that's how we'll get like an explanation for like how Hanma fits into the whole equation. Of course, I think he was also going to get into his fight prior to the Mikey and Takemichi fight. But with that all being said, I think that's all for this chapter. Really good chapter. I would give it probably a 9 out of 10. Pretty nice, pretty simple, not too much going on, just a lot of thoughts to be had. With that all being said, thank you for watching the video. Leave a like if you like, leave a dislike if you dislike. Leave a comment. Tell me your thoughts on the situation. What do you think the theory of like, what do you think is what happened between Senju, Mikey, and Baji that caused Mikey to fall down this path of darkness, and also for Senju to fall down this path of darkness, because he's insane. And if you have no other comments to leave, maybe just say I'm pretty. Today's a cold day, you know, I need something to warm my heart, because right now, I'm dying. And also, if you're feeling really generous and you enjoy the channel, subscribe. You know, drop a little subscription. I like that. Thank you again for watching the videos, and the doc is out. Peace.